and welcome to Omnibroslive on a Wednesday, where our competition seems to be Superman 3 from Very Fine Condition. I would hope that you'd be more interested in the books that broke us than Superman 3. Was that the one with Richard Pryor? What the hell? Here, get off of my screen, Very Fine Condition. You're making me sick. NFL dude, where did you see that? It sounds fun. I'd like to know more. Mr. Tex, hey. James, books, yeah. Tasty Melon, hey. Jesse, say what's first. Thank you, William Lee. Right on. That's what I like to see. So yeah, tonight's we're going to do the books that broke us. I'm waiting for Lou, and then eventually Gabe will show up. So it's going to be a solo OmniDog show until those guys show up. The secret invasion thing. Here, look what. Wait, Gio put this in the chat from James. This is funny. Wait, here's Comics Guide. What up, buddy?
Hey.
They're asking if I'm still salty from the secret invasion thing. And wait a minute, I just saw it. Wait, what? It was like at the very bottom. Oh, here it is. No, I'm not salty. I actually discovered that I have the Secret Invasion hardcover. Whoops, I got rid of the chat. I have the Secret Invasion hardcover, and I have all the new Avengers. So if I can either wait for Secret Invasion to come back in print, or I can find the Mighty Avengers hardcovers. I don't know anything about Mighty. Sorry, yeah, it does. I'm not
like a lot of work.
I'm not paying $200, William Lee. No.
Don't be like that. 2016 just would have done that and paid for 1 day shipping.
2000 just never paid over cover price, buddy. I put in the shoe leather to make sure that I never paid over cover price. Okay, the Baba Booey compilation was from the 2013 Phoenix Open. Here's Marcelo. I announced that our competition was Very Fine Condition reviewing Superman 3. And I said, I hope you guys choose us over that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. The competition's real stiff tonight, huh?
Holy smoke. We need some viewers to prove that we exist. Hey now, Death Rattle. Hey now, Wookie Brown. Right on. Tasty Melon, I'd rather hear Jess play the mouth harp or speak Spanish for an hour to listen to Superman 3 review. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds of it. Muchas gracias. There you go.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, buddy.
That was great.
Your wife digs it, huh? I love that.
She loves it. It's a highlight of her day.
Besides the pie.
Oh my God. So tonight is our Festivus episode, isn't it? Is that what we're doing tonight?
The airing of grievances?
It pretty much is. We never do this, but it sounds like when you guys pitched the idea, I was like, okay, so we're doing an episode where we're pretty much just talking about the stuff we hate the most.
Well, I don't want to say it's stuff, because I'm going to make a difference between the books I root beered and the books I really wanted to like and crushed me so much that I stopped reading them.
Okay.
Well, I just thought of another one to add to the list.
Is there a certain Blackbird that is on that list today?
Blackbird.
Maybe he has metal wings?
Oh, you're talking about someone dark?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he's here.
That's what I thought. He did curse you for a while.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go through all of that. That's part of the fun stories. Here's Rick. Hey, up as a leading Hispanic on in the comics community. Prime Rib also always challenges me to speak a little Espanol every episode, and it's become the highlight of my day. So, okay, let's see. Buenas noches, Omni Hermanos. Hombre de acero, tres, uy, no por favor. Superman 3 is no good. Even I understood that one. What's the is that what's going on with the UYYY? Is that for emphasis?
Let me see. Yeah, I think it is. Buenas noches, hombre, hermanos, hombre de acero. Uy, no, por favor. He's saying, oh, no, please.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like emphasizing the like, oh, no, please.
Oh, okay. Nice. Oddly enough, you did a Batter Days with the Minister about new collectors buying collected editions during 2020. I just happened to be new to collecting in that time. What's odd about that? New collectors buying collected editions. You were new to collecting, so maybe I'm not sure I'm getting the connection. It's okay as long as you're watching the show, Mr. Tex. I'm calling your loyal viewer.
Well, 2020, a lot of people, a lot of people, they had a lot of free time because nobody was going out. It was COVID and all that other stuff. So a lot of people picked up omnibuses, and I think you did an episode about like, hey,
we happened to get Secret Invasion, so I was one of those grabbing books that you passed on. Got it, Mr. Tex. It's funny. I was just talking to Patty today about. She asks me when something happened, and I'm like, 2019. That's my standard answer now. It happened in 2019 because 2020 through about halfway through last year is just a black hole for me.
Oh, yeah, you're not kidding.
I don't remember anything from 2020 or 2021. If anything happened, it happened in 2019. I'm just like, what?
Dude, since the pandemic, I have met my wife. We got married. I've had a kid.
Yeah.
And a stepdaughter now. That is in 3 years, and I've moved to Miami.
Yeah, actually, that's some pretty big life choices there.
3 since the pandemic. Jesus. That's what I meant. I missed the pandemic. I missed that time where things were shut down. I've said this before. Not the people, obviously, obviously not the people that were negatively affected by it and all that stuff, but I was having the time of my life. I felt like I've been watching Arrested Development, and what's his name? The dad, when he's in prison, he's like, I'm having the time of my life. That's kind of how I felt. I was like, wow, this is great. I don't have to interact with people.
And the freeways and roads were empty. Oh. It was so great.
Oh my God.
Yesterday I went to the doctor on the Beltway. People were driving like complete idiots. I'm like, where do you have to be so fast that you were riding up to my tail, cutting in and out? And where are you going? McDonald's? What's so fast that you need to go? And people are taking crazy chances just on regular roads, just pulling in front of me. And yeah, I was thinking, oh my God, I wish there was another pandemic. I would love to be quarantined now. This is what I need, a quarantine. I need all these idiot drivers quarantined.
I honestly was doing amazing I was working from home. I was sleeping in. Oh my God, dude. I was doing the hobbies that I wanted to do, and I was still getting paid. Oh, let's roll it back. Come on. Let's shut this fucker down one more time, please.
Just do it for the heck of it.
Please.
There's N-Man. He Secret Invasion Omnibus was easy and table to I think all the MCU buzz around that time created FOMO for that book. Either that or it had been around for 4 years. Yeah. What Mighty Avengers books do I need, N-Man 40? Because you may not have heard, or maybe you did hear, that I have Secret Invasion and all the new Avengers books. So what Mighty Avengers books do I need? I missed the pandemic. Traffic, Wookiees with us. I think they are too now, and they were bad before. but I feel like they think they're immortal. Remember, you guys did a video in March 2020, and Lou was hyped for Doom Eternal, Animal Crossing, and FF Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, man. Now 2020 was, oh God, take me back, dude. Honestly,
I
didn't
was,
have to interact with people. I did not have to actually meet with people. Oh my God.
yeah. I'm with you. I can't even argue with that. I don't like leaving my house, and that was my Olympics. I had to stay in the house. I got a gold medal in that.
All these people were like, "Oh my God, my social life," and I'm like, "Losers, can't lose what you didn't have, buddy."
And Animal Crossing actually really saved me and my daughter, because I didn't see my daughter for the whole year. We missed Thanksgiving, we missed Christmas together because she lives, 20 minutes away, and we would FaceTime playing Animal Crossing every day, and we got way into it.
Yeah, I remember, dude. That hit at the right time because it was. I think the game came out right like a week after they shut everything down. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, this sucks," but hey, we kind of get to interact with this virtual world, and it changes almost every day and stuff like that. So it was just the perfect storm of it hit at the right time, and I don't think it'll ever happen again.
And it was lighthearted. It took your mind off it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Mighty Avengers OHC Volume 2 has all the issues told in the Omni. I believe issue 7 is in the Omni, but forget why that lone issue is important. Okay, James, please find me Mighty Avengers OHC Volume 2 for not $10,000. Thank you.
That's a good one.
So, yeah, the pandemic. I was going to say something about, countdown to Costco Pie is, we are at 17 days and counting. It's the 19th.
Have you called ahead to see if it's at the store?
I haven't. I'm tempted. I got gas there today, and I was tempted to walk in just to see if it was there.
Okay.
But I feel like if I see it, I'm going to get it. And I'm not going to be able to pull off the hiding there's no way I could have ever hidden that. Now, N-Man said he felt it was more peanut buttery. Do you feel the chocolate was noticeable in it, or did he get a more peanut buttery pie?
So for me, I thought I actually kind of agree with N-Man. There's a lot more. There's a bit of a peanut butter taste to it. I mean, a bit of a chocolate taste to it, but it's definitely more peanut butter. The peanut butter is way more pronounced in it.
And did you ever figure out what the topping was around the pie?
Baby, what was the topping around that 5-pound chocolate peanut butter pie that still hasn't been able to get?
You jerk.
What was the topping around the 5-pound peanut butter chocolate pie that Jess still hasn't been able to get at his local Costco? And we have. Yes. It was peanut butter, Jess.
Yeah. Well, here's what I have to say to that. Let's see. Roguish Type popped in and said, "Evening, couldn't resist this spicy topic." Yeah.
That was going to be good.
I think so too. I'm kind of excited for it. Saz, another benefit of the pandemic was that I literally had months between trips to the gas station.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing that still lingers is it wasn't like you weren't allowed to pay cash for things, but they wanted credit cards. And there was like a coin shortage or something. And I went to the ATM today and I almost forgot my code. It's been so long since I've gotten cash. I got in the habit of just not carrying cash. I almost forgot my PIN number.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, the kind of going. We're 3 years out from it. Looking back at the pandemic, it's like, man, technically we're still. And I just think everybody was like, yeah, we're not dealing with COVID anymore. Everybody was just in unison of like, yeah, we're just not going to even talk about it anymore. Looking back on it now, man, that thing, it put into perspective a lot of, I think, things clearly for a lot of people, including that this country is held together off the backs of the very, very, very low paid and the people that don't want to do the worst jobs.
You mean like nurses?
Not just nurses, but I'm talking about people that do, they work at the grocery store and stuff
Oh,
like that.
oh,
Yeah, because those were the jobs that everybody was like, oh my god, what's going to happen? Because somebody's got to stock the shelves, truck drivers got to go to places and stuff like that.
yeah.
And man, I think it was a wake up call for a lot of people,
Yeah, no, you're totally right on that.
including some of the people that worked at those jobs, where they were like, wow, I'm getting paid, what is the minimum, like $8 an hour, $10 an hour, depending on the place,
Yeah,
and
it's the
I
rest of
don't
my
feel,
life.
yeah, a lot of people woke up when that stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, actually, N-Man brings up a good point. I was an essential worker, so I had to carry a letter around. My
Oh
wife
wow.
did too. She didn't have she worked at the old folks home, and she had to carry that letter too in case she got pulled over because
I
cops were
remember that.
pulling people over. You weren't supposed to be leaving your house.
I remember your wife working during that whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she actually only got about a month in, and she was going to retire in June, and it was April, and she got sent home with a fever because
Yeah.
they thought she had COVID, and she said, "I think I'm retiring now."
Hell yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good idea in hindsight. Do you remember people fighting over cases of water?
Oh yeah, water was in short supply.
People were
What?
fighting over cases of water, over diapers, which is just
You understand that now?
yes, I do. Um, yeah, and even today, there's a bit of a there's a so my child is on baby formula, and even today there's a baby formula shortage. And I just think back at, like, you are some kind of asshole if you are buying up toilet paper, baby formula, water, and stuff like that just to flip online. Like,
Oh,
that takes a special kind of asshole to do that, especially baby formula.
yeah, yeah. And I'm somebody that sells on eBay, and even I wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, if it's like your color, like comics and stuff like that, that's not something that's essential.
Essential, yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
baby formula, if honestly, genuinely, if you buy up a bunch of the bottles and stuff like that and a bunch of the cans of baby formula at Publix, like right when it gets there, you're an asshole, dude. Because if you're doing it to flip it online and not to feed your child, it's kind of fucked up.
and they weren't flipping it for like a 15% profit. They were flipping it for like 400%
Yeah,
profit.
yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it, Costco opened up early for seniors.
An hour early. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there was a line, and you had to stay apart. You had to be masked 6 feet apart. You had to be masked, and there were limits on what you could buy, like one thing of toilet paper, one thing of paper towels,
yeah.
one of this, one of that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. No
Yeah.
wonder I forgot that year. I made myself a moral monster,
That's a
not
good
merely an asshole, a moral monster. Yeah,
idea.
ethically challenged. That's right. You're right, Next Imagine. Ew, here's Kenny.
Hey, Kenny, did you ever get hit with COVID? Because I got
No,
it twice.
I know.
I got it twice. The first time, my wife called me a bitch because she thought I was just complaining, and
How supportive and sympathetic.
ain't that right, sweetie?
Sweetie.
She's saying I wasn't sick. I was running like 104 fever, and she's
Whoa.
like, "No, you're pathetic."
That's bullshit. It was 101.
I heard that. That's awesome.
It was 101.
So I was running a fever. We went out to a restaurant that day, and this is before I knew I had COVID. And it was this.
Restaurants were open?
This was dude. This was the second time. No, this was the first time. This was, I want to say, 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to say this was 2021. And we went out to this seafood restaurant, and we're eating, and I'm shaking like fucking crazy. And my wife is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't feel good." She's like, "All right, whatever. Yeah, whatever." And I'm trying to eat the seafood, and I'm like, "I really don't taste anything. I think I have COVID." And my wife is like, "You're not fucking sick." So we went that night. We go get a COVID test, and sure enough, I pop positive for COVID, and I'm running a fever. And my wife thinks like you're just fucking overreacting to it. And I'm trying not to die on the couch.
Hey, we're talking about my death here.
So I'm trying not to die on the couch. And then the next morning I had to, because I was still making the drive from Miami to Orlando every other weekend. Remember
Oh, the
that?
visitor. Okay.
Yeah, it's a visitor. And I had to get up at 4 a.m. the next day to try and make it to Orlando just so I didn't work the next day. I think I needed to get home at that point. I forgot what the reason was. I had called out. Yeah, I called out with COVID. And my boss, I remember now, yeah, my boss was like, "Yeah, you could work from home for the next few days." That's when they were allowing you to do that if you got COVID.
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, well, I got to get to Orlando." And I remember just driving the next morning around 4 a.m. like this.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I almost died.
You would have been with me for a week at that point.
You always need to keep your mic open. I love hearing her yell at you.
She didn't catch anything. That's the crazy. She's right. I was with her for a week, and she didn't catch anything. She was Teflon.
Wow.
She was exposed to so many people around us that had COVID, and we're like, "Well, this is it. You're gonna catch it." She didn't catch it.
And then the one time I got it.
The one time she catches COVID was last year, where she was 4 months pregnant with our child.
Oh, that's right.
And
I
we
remember
didn't,
that.
dude, we didn't even realize she had COVID. We go to the hospital because she's like, "Oh my God, I'm worried sick. Something's not right. Like I'm feeling cramps. I'm worried about the baby."
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. So we go there, they do a scan on the baby at the time, and they're like, "Look, we have what was it called? Oh, it wasn't just COVID. They said that we almost could have lost her. Right. They said the cervix is opening up.
Cervix was low.
Yeah, the cervix was low, so it looks like you might end up having a there's a probability you might have a miscarriage in the next few weeks."
Oh,
And we were
wow.
like, "Oh fuck." So they run those tests and then they come back and they go, "Oh, and you have COVID." And the nurse walked out like if it was nothing fucking big. He's like, "Yeah, you got COVID," and walked out.
And we were like,
Wow.
Yeah, so she tested positive for COVID, and I got it too from her. That was my second time getting it.
I have a track record of always getting sick all the time. So
Yeah.
Patty and I were prepared for me to be the first one to get it and get really sick from it.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
I just knocked on IKEA paper board, but but yeah, so far neither. No, I don't think my daughter got it last year.
Yeah.
But she can now work remotely from home. Triple R is here, talking to Tasty Melon. I still have to finish Triple R. So was I. Nobody warned me about their symptoms.
Yeah.
That's fucked. Let me just say something about Kenny. He alerted me through his post that there's a new Harley Quinn black, white, and red coming out. I found that out from Kenny. So thank you, Kenny. I was very excited to read about that. He had a link and everything. So Kenny's a good info provider. Stimson, what up, dude? You didn't want to see them talking about Superman 3 either? No, I think Mr. Tex is talking about something else. Essay-woo. I work hands-on with COVID patients through the whole pandemic, and I still haven't gotten it. You should buy a lottery ticket.
Jesus.
You're very fortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was Teflon, man, but then I got hit with it twice, so I was like, oh. Second time wasn't as bad as the first time, though.
I just remember April. April seemed like it was 6 months long to me, because March 8th is when they declared an emergency, and then the quarantine happened. And April is when Taylor and I put out a few videos on trying to, you know, uplifting books to keep you in a good mood and stuff. And April, I was kind of scared because there was we didn't know much then.
Yeah.
And so I was doing those videos for me as much for everybody else. So I want everybody to notice my new Scooby-Doo shirt. If T-shirt guy's in there, I highly doubt you'll be able to.
It's a nice shirt. I like that.
Yeah, it's one of those Roosevelt's one. So comfortable. They're expensive, but they're really well made. Here's Warren Weaver. Let's just talk about how much you and I have in common, because you also are getting the Black Cat Omnibus before Hater Gabe comes on, which is momentary, and starts beating my ass about Black Cat, a book he hasn't even read yet.
Does she get the Infinity Stones in that book?
They're actually people. I haven't read the backstory on how the stones possess the people.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but she gathers the Infinity people, or the gemstone people, and for a caper. And it's really well done. It makes me want to go back and find out. I know Star first appeared in Captain Marvel, but I don't know what event. Maybe somebody in the chat knows what happened. I'm sure it was in 2019, because I can't remember anything before that.
Yeah.
When did the gemstones become people?
Jesus, I am so off Marvel, like in general, completely. Even the movies, like,
oh yeah,
everything Marvel related, I just do not have the faintest amount of interest in lately. I don't know what it is.
I have the interest. I just haven't had the time.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, that Marvel's trailer actually looks pretty fun. It doesn't look like it's going to be a bad movie. It looks pretty good. But I'm just like, okay, it's another Marvel movie. I'll wait.
What Black Cat? William, I thought you were Team Omni Dog. What's this about? What the hell? Tasty Melon, I don't know that I saw that. It's a certain kind of Harley Quinn that I'd want on a shirt. Like, I don't want her and Joker on a shirt. But I actually haven't seen it. I'm interested now in seeing it. Stimson saw Mario. I'm still living out that high. It was a fantastic watch. If you hadn't seen it, I'm totally going to watch it when it comes to pay-per-view HBO Max Discovery Plus, charging you $20 for 4K.
Jesus Christ. Here's a question before we get started on our grievances.
The airing of grievances.
Who's your favorite Harley Quinn artist? I think I know the answer, but I'm not sure.
Well,
I think it's a pretty easy answer.
I feel like it's Bruce Timm.
Really? Wow. I thought it was going to go to somebody else.
Well, I like Terry Dodson.
I thought you were going to throw Amanda Conner in there.
Well, I do, but she hasn't done a whole lot. She did more writing on that Harley Quinn stuff. Now, I think she did all the art in that Birds of Prey book. Here, I can show you that. She drew an original Harley Quinn on this for me.
I love her design. I love the way Amanda Conner draws characters.
Yeah, you're right. So, and I love all the other characters in here too, but she drew that, and it came with whatever. This is official. So I keep this displayed. I think you're right. If I could, she does a lot of covers for Harley Quinn, but I don't know how much she didn't do any interior art in the Harley Quinn books that I love. So, I don't know. Probably Bruce Timm or Terry Dodson, I would guess. They do the most.
Yeah. Okay. When I think, for me, when I think Harley Quinn, the first thing that pops into my mind is, for whatever reason, maybe it's because I've been exposed to it so much, is the Amanda Conner version. Is that art kind of cartoony?
Yeah.
version that she draws, and I just associate the character with that, and of course, the classic Bruce Timm from the animated series where she first appeared.
Yeah, and you're right. The version I like is the one that Connor and Palmiotti created. That's the one. I mean, I love everything, but that's the one that really got me into her.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, I'll change it to Connor. Yeah, that's fair.
When because you've read a lot more Harley than I have, by far a lot more. When did we start to kind of see that shift of Harley Quinn being Joker's in that abusive relationship with Joker to now where she's become kind of a symbol of an independent woman who's like, yeah, fuck that guy. I don't want anything to do with him. Even writers nowadays, they don't really pair them up as much as they used to anymore because they're like the character has evolved beyond that at this point.
To me, I feel like it was the Carl Kessel, Terry Dodson run where they really broke her out into her own. And after that, then I think what I really gravitated towards is the Palmiotti Connor stuff, where she's completely on her own, in owning the building, being a roller derby queen, being a psychiatrist.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like it was the Carl Kessel stuff. Okay, I'm behind on the answer to anything. Well, they haven't drawn Harley, but I dig it. Her portrayal in Batman will always be my favorite Harley Quinn. That's fair. It only has Harley on it in different art styles. Most of my Marvel intake nowadays is for collected editions of older material. Here and there, something catches my attention, though right now I want to check out Clobberin' Time. That sounds like it's a Thing book. Bar is going to channel. Are you familiar with the Unstoppable Bar? Has she been in here before? She's our Israeli viewer. Oh, are you frozen? Bar is going to channel Black Cat and steal your Harley collection if you keep showing those rare Harley collectibles off. Oh yeah, she's going to be. I think you're frozen there, Lou baby. Haven't read any Harley, so I don't know anything about her. If I'd like the character, yeah, Blue will be back. If 90s Mike Deodato Jr. could have had a chance, Joe Benitez. I love Lady Mechanica. Boy, what a great heart. That's a good call. What a great Harley. He could have drawn. Bar's missing all this Harley Quinn talks. James, I may do a show with her about Harley Quinn. I mean, why shouldn't I? What's the worst that can happen? Nothing. I bet she's funny on air. That was Stepan Shezhik, or however he says it. Well, this is true. Is there more to her? To Harley? Oh, yeah, there's a lot more to her. For me, it seemed Gotham City Sirens is when Harley became a main focus. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, let's look at Harley Quinn. I think I'm going to have a show of just Harley Quinn with Bar. No matter the way these sirens will play, and no one, not Hush Sugar, Riddler, or even the Joker, can squash the bad girls of Gotham City. Yeah, that's fair. Gotham City. Oh, it's Gabe. Hey,
everybody, what's up?
We lost Lou, but he'll be popping back in.
Oh,
we've been talking about COVID and Harley Quinn right now.
Oh man, great topics.
Clobberin' Time is a Thing book with Hulk by Steve Scroce. I thought Clobberin' Time. Oh, it's a Thing. Okay, Thing with Hulk. Got it. Sorry.
It's Ben Grimm.
Yeah, right. Immortal Hulk is the best modern Marvel book in my opinion, but I also really like the new Eternals run by Gillen leading into Axe Judgment Day, which is also really fun. I have heard that Axe Judgment Day is an actually really great event, and that Eternals run, I've heard that too, by Gillen is really good. Mr. Tex is a fan of Gabe. Rodimus Prime Rib.
yeah.
David is Majestic Beard.
I'm a fan of Rodimus Prime and Mr. Tex as well.
Right
Oh, yeah.
on. I mean, I just never read any of the Connor or other single lines of her, so I don't know if I'd like her.
How long you been growing the beard, Gabe? What's the time?
Yeah,
limit?
that thing's like ZZ Top proportions practically.
That's good,
Yeah, I look
man.
like the guy in the zigzag packages.
Yeah. Whoa, what a deep hole.
August. It was August.
August.
When,
Damn.
yeah.
I don't think I could grow that long of a beard. That thing is a talent of yours.
I gotta get it all worked up and I gotta trim it up. It's getting unruly.
Do you take care of it yourself, or do you go to a barber to kind of clean you up?
I have yet to ever have anybody do anything to it.
Okay.
But I am gonna go to a barber, like when I do get around to it. Do.
And let's see. Stimson takes back his or her answer. Joker Harley Black Label series, my favorite art of hers. That was Miko Swayan, Jason and Mike Mayhew, who alternated. That was really cool.
I love if you're talking about Harley Quinn artists, Terry Dotson, when he was doing that first series.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
And here you see them alternating right here. Mike Mayhew did half, and then Miko Swayan did the other half.
Miko Suave.
Rico Suave.
Yeah.
Have we ever done a Harley episode? I don't think we have we?
I don't know that anybody loves Harley as much as I do in OmniBros.
Well, I mean, I'd be down to hear you talk and us chime in about the character for a while. Honestly, but that could be an idea for a Wednesday if we could just talk about Harley for a bit.
I'm always up for that.
There's a 12-hour episode right there, everybody. Pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch.
I mean, I think the character itself is just fascinating, just from where it started as a bit character in the Batman animated series to this arguably the fourth pillar of the DC universe at this point, because she's so prominent and important.
Probably one of the more spotlighted, important female characters in the DC, probably next to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, go to a con and you will see more people probably cosplaying as Harley than Wonder Woman. I would put money on that.
That makes me want to go to Baltimore Con and see.
I would put money on that.
That sounds interesting. I would actually like to see that.
I think Wonder Woman's a harder cosplay to pull off for people. Probably. But I agree. I see a lot more Harleys than I do like Wonder Woman.
I'm not familiar with this Blackhead Spider-Man Kevin Smith Dodson 6-issue run.
Oh, okay. I was reading that in singles, and it's all about this guy that would had a mutant power or some kind of power where you could transfer anything into your body. So he was transferring sorry, Jess, heroin into I think it was heroin or some type of drug into people and was killing them. I was reading it in singles, but it was that Kevin Smith. It took 3-4 years for the last couple of issues to come out, kind of thing.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about Daredevil, Bullseye, Target, or whatever that one was called. That never finished.
Just described her as DC's fourth pillar. I got that from DC. They described her as that back in 2019 when everything happened. Old man Jess hunting the Harley cosplayers in the con, probably going to get arrested. Okay, first of all, I'm not hunting them. I just said I wanted to see them.
It's Harley Quinn season.
Yeah. Then I get a picture of that tree with Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny ripping down the rabbit season, duck season,
Harley Quinn season, Wonder Woman season, Harley Quinn season, Power Girl season.
There's a video from 2017 with Jess, Gabe, and Omar about Harley. Definitely time for a new one. Okay, good.
Jesus, we've been around that long. Wow.
Is that when we first started, or did we start in late 2016? I guess we started in late 2016. A roguish type, you'll be hearing about this book in a little bit.
We started in late 2000. We are approaching 10 years. You realize that, right?
Well, we're 7 years. I mean, Yeah.
That's not too far from 10.
Well, no. I got that book, Stimson, but I haven't read it yet. But it's at the top of my list to want to read.
I need to check that out because that's supposed to be, from my understanding, like the wrap up of Tom King's run.
That's
issues.
why I want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Upper management is going to smack you with Harley's hammer if you act up at a con. I got Harley's hammer as a Christmas gift one time.
I think that was originally supposed to be the end of his run, but then DC's like, yeah, we're pulling you off of Batman. So he moved whatever story he was going to do to that.
Yeah, that's right.
Because from the get, he was saying, yeah, I'm going to do 100 issues of Batman.
Yeah.
And he got close to it.
Well, like 75 or 80, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot of issues.
I still got to get that volume 6 deluxe hardcover.
Yeah. I still got to get Secret Invasion.
Wait for a reprint. It just shows how some of these publishers are out of touch. Like, why is there not a push for Secret Invasion, like Omnibus Collector Edition, stuff like that, when that show's about to drop soon?
Yeah, that's a good question. That should be a reprint immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like with the like House of M and stuff like that. But it dropped like the whole like WandaVision thing, and then it just, it's House of M, and then that thing just sold out, and then I think they eventually came out with like a reprint or something. But yeah, that should already be in the chamber, ready to go.
Mask of the Phantasm is in it. That's the main reason I got it. In the Catwoman Batwoman series, I remember I watched that movie. So
yeah, she's the villain of the series apparently.
Harley is?
No,
Catwoman.
Mask of the Phantasm. Phantasm.
Okay.
Phantasm.
Yeah.
But Gabe, they retconned that though. Remember Batman Beyond?
Oh God. Sure. I understand.
But it's true, they retconned.
I know. Retcon's always like, oh yeah, that's right. Now I gotta like change my brain canon.
Although they did unmask the Phantasm, but
yeah,
it kind of doesn't work.
Tried to kill the Joker at the very end.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't work. Yeah. Huh.
Well, all right. Would you like to give me a book that broke you?
Black Cat.
No, stop. You haven't even read it. Stop. Stop.
The major one I always think of when it comes down to it is it was the end of a series that was fantastic. It was like one of the like best like crossover events of all time.
Yeah.
And then we got this.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Sentry Fallen Sun.
You own a copy of that.
I own a copy of it. It's the only one of my comic books that broke me that I own. Just because I got this in a collection and I was working at Torpedo. I bought this big collection and I was flipping through it. I'm like, oh, this saltpeter of a book. Let me get this. Just to have it as an example of my least favorite. No, you know what? Fuck it. This thing is a terrible comic book. It's the worst. And it's written by Paul Jenkins, which is even worse because I love Paul Jenkins stuff for the most part. It's this is the epilogue to Siege. It's a whole like people going to, spoilers, Sentry dies. So it's all about like his kind of like funeral and everybody kind of reminiscing about him. And it's also a part of, if nobody knows, his first appearance is in this Wizard magazine where Marvel Comics just catfished everybody into believing that they found they discovered Marvel's first ever superhero that was forgotten. Like they drew it, they put it together, and they just forgot about it, and eventually went on and did Fantastic Four. It's from the beginning. The whole thing was a lie. Like that was all made up on the spot. It's a new character. It wasn't the Silver Age character they tried to tell us. They got Stan Lee to kind of corroborate it because he's got bad memory. They even got John Romita Jr. to draw the image in here to make it look like it's a Silver Age character. And then we got Fallen Sun, where it's just everybody reminiscing about how they've always known him and he was always around. Because that was his whole lore, was that he was always around. And we were made to forget about him. Everybody in the Marvel universe was made to forget about him.
Right.
And then that's when he came back, and all that whole thing came up with him and his wife and all that kind of stuff. And I was more than happy to what happened to his wife in Dark Avengers. But this is the one where it broke me because it was he slept with Rogue. He was the only person who was ever able to touch her. Like, let me see. I put some pictures up here. So this is the one where they're talking about like, oh my god, this is so hard. And they talk about, wait a minute, did she? Yeah. Did they did that? Yeah. For how long? And this is whole thing. So they talk about how Sentry and Rogue hooked up. Of course, that's impossible because Rogue can't touch anybody, but apparently he did because he's always been around and he was like Thing's best friend. And then you get Thor, who just randomly goes to this old lady's house and starts dancing with her.
Makes no sense.
It's such a bad thrown together issue. I don't know where it came from, how they put it together, why they decided they thought this was going to be something that can tap off the end of the Siege saga. But my God, I can't stand this book. I have it just because, you got to kind of have that bad comic book in your collection at some time. Yeah, Siege, Fallen Sun, the Sentry. It sucks. I hate it.
It was terrible.
Speaking of books, if you want to get your collected editions at a discount and amazingly packaged, that would be instocktrades.com, where you can find books 38, 45, 42, 65% off, depending on the sale. It's amazing. Don't forget your 2% loyalty discount. At the end of every month, we give away a free $50 gift card to InStock Trades, courtesy of InStock Trades. $50 or more in an order gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Here, let me show you this. So here's that first image of Sentry in Wizard. And how they made it sound like, oh, hey, this is the discovery of a lifetime.
Wow.
The startling discovery leads Marvel to ask, was Stan Lee Sentry the first Marvel hero? Exclusive with Wizard. They found it. And this is a John Romita drawing. This is an artist down here named Artie Lang. I don't think it's that Artie Lang.
Artie Lang.
Artie Rosen, excuse me. I don't even think that's even a real artist. I think that's somebody else's photo that they use. I have to go back and look at it because they start revealing it later on, how this was all just kind of a hoax to kind of develop that lore of the Sentry. But yeah, this is his first appearance, and it all started from here with Stan Lee corroborating it and talking about how he vaguely remembers that happening. It was so long ago and all this stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
What's great about this is that so the bit that they use to introduce the character is better than the actual story of the character. And this would never work today.
No.
Because people would instantly just blow it up online and ruin the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they didn't admit that it was a hoax until like way later after the whole thing was kind of over. When he had his own series going and everything like that.
Just wait a sec. I want to assure Warren that he's safe here. You're in a safe space, Warren. It's not necessarily the comic book that you hate, but you're reading through a series and it broke you and stopped you.
Yeah.
And that series ruined Siege for Gabe. So go ahead and say what your most hated comic is. I don't care if it's Harley Quinn, whatever it is. I don't care. It's
as long as you don't say Black Cat. That's the only thing I kind of like.
He and I already agree we like Black Cat, so it's too late for that. It's a Harley book. Yeah, I think the story broke because the artist they made up died and the drawings were found. Huh.
Yeah. It was John Romita Sr. that drew that image.
What issue Wizard is that they're asking?
It is issue 105, June 2000.
What?
And this is the cover you want to get. This is the cooler cover. There's two covers.
Wow.
But this is also like the Return to Punisher. This is like the whole Punisher, Garth Ennis Punisher. And this is one of my favorite comic books of all time is it Punisher 4? That one where Punisher ties up Daredevil and he's like, I'm going to shoot this guy unless you shoot me first.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
There's another one I just remembered.
My book that broke me, I think we've already talked about it, and everybody knows, was War of Kings omnibus, where it was the 4th omnibus. So I had made it through the 3 of the 5 Cosmic Saga books and enjoying them. I remember Road to War of Kings was more about the Inhumans. And then we got to War of Kings, and I just hit the wall when Darkhawk showed up. It was all cosmic, and then it came back to Earth, and I don't know, Darkhawk was like a security agent or something, and it just made, I was like, what are you doing down here? Everything else is happening in the cosmic world where it's interesting, and it was just dull as dishwater and broke up the story for me. It just interrupted it like a punch in the face. I was just baffled as to why they came down to Earth and were talking about this very boring story. I'm not going to say he's a boring character because he's already come back and haunted me once. So after I said,
you don't have his Marvel Legend figure, Jess?
Sorry?
You don't have his Marvel Legend figure?
I did, and I dunked him in root beer. I got a root beer, and instead of pouring it over him, I dunked him. And yeah, Matthew wants to bring back Amalgam by drawing Dark Squirrel for me.
There you go. You get 10,000 copies of that.
Oh, sorry. Spoilers. Yeah, spoilers. So I hit the wall and I stopped reading it. I had made all that progress, and I just was like, I don't care anymore. This is enough. I'm stopping. Then I dunked him in root beer, and the very next episode, the whole area had internet issues, and my internet kept clicking on and off. And I wasn't hosting, or maybe I was hosting. I can't remember. But my internet clicked on and off like every minute for 45 minutes, and they all called it Darkhawk's Revenge. And so I put him and Moon Knight in front of my router to protect it. I said, okay, sorry, Darkhawk. You're my favorite legend. You will guard my router from now on. But yeah, it was Darkhawk's Revenge. After I hit that wall hard and sold all 5 books.
Oh, it's better than having Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah, sure.
If anybody knows, catches that.
Yeah.
Use that term. It's diarrhea.
Don't. Oh, Warren doesn't like that Adam Strange series from Tom King. Oh my God, I've never been so pissed off in my life. The ending, ugh, Mr. Terrific says something I hate. You're entitled to that. There's no.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong answer to any of this.
Yeah. Infinite Crisis Omnibus is the most boring nonsense.
I never got the Omnibus. I remember everybody was like, "Oh, it's the great." People were just really pinching their nipples over like that reprint. When that thing used to be like a $500 book and it reprinted, I was like, "God, this is like the most convoluted nonsense book I've ever read."
And it's huge.
It's massive, and it's like Superboy Prime punches the time stream or whatever nonsense. You know,
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but that's like with that Sentry book. If that was like part of like the Siege storyline, like earlier, I would have just stopped reading it right there. Like, I'm glad that was like, I could just forget that book. I don't have to read it. What about you, Lou? You got one?
Oh yeah,
talk about one?
I've got quite a few. Spider-Man Bloodline.
Oh
yeah, a book so bad it made us change the name of our category for worst comic of the year. Yeah, no, this book makes One More Day look like something Dostoevsky had wrote in his book.
What a literary poll.
It is that bad. So how did we come upon? Okay, so we had heard it was pretty bad. I remember this now. And we were like, it was you and I, Jess, and we were both in agreement. We're like, well, let's try and read it for a review because it can't be that bad. Oh my God. We should have listened to the chat. It's incomprehensible. The story makes no sense whatsoever. Characters don't even act like they're supposed to be the characters they are. Peter Parker is apparently a bum of a father. He's absentee in that whole thing. They kill Mary Jane in the first, what was it, like 4 or 5 pages of
I
it.
forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, and then they bring
Was
her
it violently and horrible that they killed her?
Huh?
Did she die in a violent, horrible way?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It was terrible. It was fucking horrible. And then they bring her back at the end as like some spider hybrid thing. It is horrible.
Right. Yeah.
It is terrible, honestly. The only reason that I'm convinced, the only reason this got published was because J.J. Abrams' name was attached to it. And Henry Abrams, the kid who should never fucking write again in any form because it was that bad, was the actual writer of this story. And to make things worse, Sarah Pacelli was the artist.
Mm.
And Sarah Pacelli is a good artist. That book has cursed Sarah Pacelli. That thing is an albatross around her neck. And it is still hanging around her neck to this day.
Is it her League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Dude, she still has not gotten a great book since then. And now they've paired her with another giant anchor.
Our other favorite
she's doing that Scarlet Witch book, right? With Steve Orlando?
Yeah, with Steve Orlando. They just keep pairing her with anchors. So I'm convinced she owes somebody money over at Marvel or something like that. It's terrible. Honestly, it's horrible. There is not one redeeming thing to that story that I can think about. Honestly, we usually look for the good when we review stuff, even stuff that we don't like. We're like, well, this was good. Even Sarah Pacelli's art wasn't good in this.
I think the only reason we both finished it is because we had to finish it for a review.
Yes,
otherwise the worst. You got to just dig through that oatmeal of a story.
Yeah. We would have dropped it. Did you read this game?
No, I haven't read it. No.
Oh, I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh God.
My daughter was over on Monday, and my wife and I and Kelly were talking about J.J. Abrams and Star Wars or whatever. And then I said, well, the worst thing about J.J. Abrams is his Nepo baby, Henry Abrams, who wrote this terrible book. I know Nepo baby. I just learned that term. And he is the ultimate Nepo baby because Lou's right. There's no way that guy gets a Spider-Man.
Right.
Like the lead character, the number one, arguably the number one.
It's Marvel's mascot character. It's his face on all the letterheads and like checks and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Sure.
So somebody at Marvel decided, you know what, we could sell probably a couple thousand copies of this book or whatever because it's got J.J. Abrams' name attached to it.
Yeah, and I said we used to have the Golden Kirkman, and now it's the Golden Abrams, and I explained that all to them. So they all are.
Kirkman redeemed himself with Firepower.
Firepower is great.
Firepower is really good.
I'm so happy that's coming back.
Did you read the Atlantic Guardians of the Galaxy War of Kings read through or prior or after? I forget. I think those 3 War of King Omnis are mapped pretty well. I don't think that I own that book, but I don't think, I did not read that alongside War of Kings. Are you telling me that now if I open up Guardians of the Galaxy, there's going to be Darkhawk in there? Please tell me that's not true.
I think he is in it. I'm trying to remember because that Abbott and Landing Nova series and that Guardians of the Galaxy series was amazing stuff. But nobody was reading it. Like it was getting canceled. It was that. I love that stuff and the actual Annihilation storyline, but everything else I didn't enjoy. Like the lead up to Annihilation, like all those like little mini series, like Annihilation, like Ronin and Annihilation Silver Surfer and all that stuff I didn't care about. But the Annihilation storyline itself was fine. And Guardians of the Galaxy and Nova, because that's when Xandor gets all the Nova Corps gets destroyed.
Oh, is that in Guardians of the Galaxy?
That's in
where
the
they get
Nova
destroyed?
series. That's the Nova series that leads up into.
Oh, okay.
Was it before or after Annihilation? I forget my timeline because that was like 15 years
I
ago.
think it's before Annihilation, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Nova's
Where he
around.
was like Nova Prime and he had like the rope
Yeah.
line thing
Yeah,
going. and
yeah.
stuff.
Nova's
Yeah.
around for a huge chunk of that cosmic
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I still have that full Nova run, like the singles.
Oh, those books. That book was so good. And
Dude, it was like getting canceled like every like 3 months or something like that. People, all the fans had to like bring it back and bring it back and bring it back. And now the Guardians of the Galaxy is the biggest thing in the world.
But still, they can't keep a book around. It's the weirdest thing.
It's not the characters, it's the writers. It's just,
Yeah.
because it was those writers, it was Abbott and Lanning that brought those characters from goddamn obscurity.
Yeah, they're such a good team.
Yeah. I don't think they work around anymore. I think they might have had a falling out.
Oh, that's too bad.
I remember when they first announced they were doing Guardians of the Galaxy the movie. I'm like, Guardians of what?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And
I was
then-
pumped. I was like, dude, Groot and
Yeah.
Rocket and all that. Yeah.
And then they announced the director. I'm like, James Gunn, the guy who did Trauma films, and
The guy that did Scooby Doo.
like, well, we'll
Scooby
see
Doo,
how-
that's my shirt.
Oh, is it? That's dope. Oh, I love your shirt, Jess.
Thank you.
Dude, I was driving around. I think was it yesterday. Like there's somebody in town that had like made their own like makeshift like mystery machine van.
Oh, cool.
I think it's all painted out and everything. It was dope.
That's
That's
awesome.
really cool. Let's see. Before Annihilation, that Nova series that was in Annihilation Omni was amazing.
Yep.
I'm going through War of Kings right now. Got it in today.
Nice.
Let's see. Stimson, I have a love-hate relationship with the Clone Saga Omnis. The story and art I love, but my major problem is that at least 8 pages of every issue collected explains what's going on and recapping it. It's brutal.
That Shooter? Oh no, that wasn't Shooter.
No, that was a way out the shooter. But that was just, I mean, that Clone Saga went on for like 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So they had to recap it across like
That's
6 different Spidey books.
That's a common complaint that I hear from people that they read the Jim Shooter era of Marvel. It's like, Jesus Christ, you got to
Yeah.
spend every issue with 2 to 3 pages explaining who these heroes' powers are and stuff.
Everybody
like
has to say that. Everybody has to say each other's name and what they do and stuff like that. But that was back in the day where people were just randomly picking up books off of a newsstand, right? Just a random issue, so they had to be able to be involved. But that Clone Saga is another one that broke me. Was that last issue where Mary Jane and Peter are about to have a baby, and the hospital told them that it was a stillborn, and it was really just Norman Osborn who kidnapped the baby.
I don't remember this.
Oh, dude, I was like 15 maybe, and it broke me. I didn't read any more. It was too heavy for me. That was too much for me to handle. People, because there was this image where it's just them just crying, like it was just this really just grief-stricken image, and it's all just an elaborate scheme of Norman Osborn trying to steal their baby, and nothing ever came out of it. Like that was completely just fall off of existence. But I didn't read Spider-Man comics again for that until Ultimate Spider-Man came around, because that just broke me.
That's broken.
No, it hurt me. It hurt me. It was rough.
Yeah. Speaking of Norman Osborn,
Where's that image? Where's Geo with the image?
Where's the O face?
I'll find it if
Is
it's
it in the
there.
thing? I don't know if I saw it.
I don't know that it's in there.
He's Gwen Stacy's husband. He's
It's her baby daddy or her baby's daddy.
Yeah, I don't actually see. I see a lot of weird pictures of me, but I don't see the
No, I don't think it's in here.
Osborn. Yeah, Omnicat and I were reading the JMS Spider-Man, and I actually really was enjoying the introduction of Moreland and the Spider Totem. That kind of addition, creation of the adding to the lore of who Spider-Man was and stuff. I thought that was really creative, and I was blazing through it. I still have it in hardcovers, so I didn't have the Omni, but when we hit that part of where the 2 adult superheroes that hate Spider-Man are the children of Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy, and that hideous picture of
See if I can
I
find
can't
it.
even say it. It's just so awful. It was like,
Post-coital Norman Osborn.
oh God, it was just, why are you doing this to me? To Gwen, my poor Gwen, my first crush in comics when I was like 8. And Taylor Brown said that he read JMS's autobiography and that it was originally supposed to be Peter that had the twins with Gwen. And editorial made him change it to Norman Osborn. And man, Omnicat and I both went full stop on Spider-Man. She had volume 2 of the omnibus. I had the rest of the books, and we said, time to take a break. And I do not know if I'm coming back, man. This was awful. What? And it doesn't count to me that Nick Spencer retconned it, because it's burned into my retinas, that face. It ruined the book for me. That was another car hitting the wall really hard, and I went through the windshield.
What was the name of the storyline? Since Past. There it is. Never mind.
Since Past. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Speaking of J.J. Abrams, his daughter, pop star Gracie Abrams, was performing at the Fillmore Monday. That's Hondo, who works at the Fillmore.
Huh.
Never heard of that.
It was sold out, and she had a lot of fans. Wow.
Good for her.
I think that
can't write.
I think the pick was based on.
At least he had one talented sibling or child.
Let's see. Come see pretty kind of like the rawness of that issue the first time I read it, Gabe, but 100% get where you're coming from.
Oh, if he's talking about that, the one that broke me on the Spider Clone saga, yeah,
I think so, yeah, because there's a lot of Spider Clone talk about that.
No, I can't deal with it.
One day they'll remember that and use it. Right now, they're too focused on keeping MJ apart. Didn't Jeff? Oh, sorry. Oh, oh, you rat bastard! Oh my God.
Do you think he keeps the pumpkin belt on?
God, that is just
You think his sperm is shaped like pumpkin bombs?
Look at that. That's Gwen, my Gwen Stacy.
She's enjoying it.
Of her.
Yeah.
Norman Osborn. There's just no. It's
like this weird. It wasn't like this weird like rendezvous where they met like in Paris for like a weekend or something weird like that in between panels kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm so glad I've never read this.
Well, the book is really good up until that part. Because I really thought the Spider Totem stuff, which bounced off into the creation of the Spider-Verse and everything, I thought it was a really neat creation. And I don't know what comes after. I mean, there's the Other and Back in Black, and I think I have some other Spidey issues. Best of Spider-Man, Other, Spider-Man, Back in Black.
I'm telling you, these things need to come out with perforated pages so you can just pull them out of your book. Like, nope, that doesn't count.
Oh, it was brutal.
I have a book that broke me, and it prevented me from reading like some of the apparently the best stuff of this character. And it's Punisher. So during I really enjoyed when Garth Ennis first did like Welcome Back Frank. That first volume, that first 12 issues is fantastic. That second volume he did, that second 12 issue run or whatever, I don't know. There was a part because in the first arc, Frank rips off the Russian's head, right?
I remember that.
And in the second arc, they attach it back to like this giant bodybuilding woman body.
Yep.
Right. And I was like, okay, that's funny. I get it. That's a joke. Yeah, the Russian to get him on a woman's body with these really big boobs, she's like this muscular, like female body kind of thing. With all these like tubes and stuff in it, But then, give me a second. I'm gonna pull up this image. But then this happens, and he's wearing a Britney shirt. And I don't know what it was. I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't read this anymore. It's fine that they put her head on a woman's body. That's fine. That's a joke. When he starts like embracing it with this like Britney Spears, like tank top kind of thing. And I was like, this is dumb. I just could not go with it any further. So I haven't read Punisher Max afterwards. After that whole like the slaver storyline that Louis keeps talking about. I've never read Punisher Max because this broke me from Punisher and I never went back around.
You need to read it.
I know. It's just that this hurt me.
Yeah. No.
Dennis regretted how goofy he got with that Marvel Knights run.
And he more than made up for it with his Max run.
Yeah.
You read Fury Max, right?
Yeah. We read it. My War Gone By.
Oh my God, that's a great read.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Seeing Nick Fury go to the Bay of Pigs and how that just goes tits up.
I need to read it. I have it. I just haven't read it.
They have him involved in every military operation ever, almost, where he's involved. One sec.
God,
I have the hardcover. I haven't even. So I love the Jason Aaron like Punisher Max run. That whole Bullseye like story arc and stuff like that is one of the greatest Punisher stories I've read. And I got this because I know it's all a part of it, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Punisher is in that book, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's amazing how he works him into all those different conflicts that we've had.
Because I really enjoyed like Garth Ennis on Punisher was great. Like I love like Bourne. I think was that maybe like his first Punisher story. I loved Bourne. I loved like Welcome Back Frank. There was that other small mini series when he goes after Mamaguchi.
The thing with Bourne that I love so much is that you could start to see that even before Frank lost his family, he was a little bit fucked up in the head.
Well, he was he was fucked up in the point that he was kind of hoping something like that would happen to his family.
Exactly. So it's
like it was a sacrifice for him to be who he wanted to be. He had to give up his family.
Right. It's a really interesting thing that he throws out there. I love. I wasn't crazy about the Marvel Knights stuff, and I think what ends up happening is that a lot of fans they hear, man, you got to read Garth Ennis' Punisher run, and they start reading the Marvel Knights stuff, and they just fall off it without realizing Max is a completely different thing.
Yeah, I need to get on there. I just, the omnibuses are out of print. The complete collections are out of print. Like they really need to get that put together somehow again. Bring that back out.
I just have to address Barr because Lou and I were talking about her the first part of the show. This is the Unstoppable Bar. Just very fine condition said on his stream that you're talking shit about me to him. He's trying to start a fight between us. That is a lie, Bar. I have not said anything to him about you. No very fine condition can make me dislike you. Just saying. I still want to do that Harley Quinn stream. Yeah, that's what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, is that I want to get you on. And Lou and I were talking about Harley Quinn, and I definitely want to get you on to do a Harley Quinn show, Bar. So yeah, no, he's messing with you. I have nothing but good things to say about you, but thank you.
We got screenshots, Jess. We got screenshots.
One that broke me. So I'm gonna go with a favorite, and the thing is, I don't know why. I just could not connect with it. I'm not saying it's bad. I just couldn't connect with it, and I could not finish it. And it was James Robinson's Starman.
Oh wow, that's right.
I know it's one of your favorite books,
yeah.
Jeff. And for whatever reason, I'm not saying it's bad because I could see it's definitely not a bad book. But there are some times when you just try to start reading something, and for whatever reason, it doesn't hook you, it doesn't really connect with you, or you just don't vibe with it. And for some reason, James Robinson's Starman is that book. I got through not even that far into it, about 10, 12 issues and stuff like that. But
it's pretty far, dude.
it didn't do it for me. It just honestly didn't do it for me.
It happens. I mean, I've been there before. That's another topic we could do. Books that we just couldn't finish. Not because they're bad, but sometimes, It just doesn't grab you, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna put this down and give it a break, and then you never come back around to it. You know, it's like half my collection. I feel like.
I think that's what the issue is with me and Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I know it's popular, and I think it's great. I mean, she got 1,600 pages Omni, so there's a lot of people out there that like her. But
Don't use that as a gauge, Jess. Come on, because they put it in the Omni means nothing. Empire got an Omni before it was even completed.
Power Pack got an Omni.
Power Packs are like 2 Omnis, right? Like, come on.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's not a good gauge of if
There
it's
are
a good thing or
dozens
not.
of us. Dozens of us.
Like oh god.
That's true. Okay, but I think there are a lot of fans out there, and for some reason, the humor, and I like, I like humor in my books. I like Gwenpool because it's funny and breaks the fourth wall. Same with Deadpool and Harley. I like it when that kind of stuff happens, especially Gwenpool. But it just didn't connect with me. I won't say it broke me, but I was just like, I don't get it. The humor's just not there for me.
Yeah.
And so that's why I stopped. But I mean, 1,600 pages, let's take the Omni out of it. But I mean, it got a long run, like longer than any of Kelly Thompson's runs. So it must have sold well for it to have gotten, I don't know, 75 issues or whatever it got.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't do it for me the way Starman didn't do it for you.
Couldn't get into it. So for me, this is no secret as to I have a very strong disdain for this man's work.
Okay, wait, let me think.
Is one of two people, obviously.
It's either the guy who does Jimmy Corrigan,
Chris Ware.
Yeah, Chris Ware.
Yeah.
It's either Chris Ware. Who else would it be? I don't think it's Steve Orlando. Gosh, I can only think of Chris Ware.
It's Steve Orlando. The other one.
Oh, it is Steve Orlando. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, for me it's Jimmy Corrigan. So I've joked about it a million times here to the point where I think it's a bit old, but I had heard so much about how Jimmy Corrigan is this prestigious book that everybody should read, and it's amazing and it's thought-provoking and it's the equivalent of watching fucking paint dry in your living room and nothing else is going on. It is so bland, so boring, so devoid of absolutely any joy and human emotion that I don't understand why anybody would sit through that dreck of a piece of paper and call it art. I don't get it for the life of me. I really don't. I have tried 3 times, and every single time I want to put my hand through a shredder. It is that bad. It is the equivalent of you going to an art show and somebody puts an apple on a pedestal and then the jackass is in front of you going, I wonder what it means.
No, it's not that. They tell you what it means, and it's some pretentious nonsense. And that might just be what it is. You know, there's those books where it's for that pretentious group who.
It is so pretentious, dude. The saving grace that I will give that toilet paper of a book is that I understand from a technical standpoint, and it's actually kind of impressive what he can do with just a few lines in terms of the design of certain panels and pages, and I get it, but it is just so fucking boring. Honestly, I don't understand why people would waste their time on this earth. The Lord has blessed you with a certain amount of days on this planet. I don't know why you would waste them reading that book.
That's how I feel about certain movies where people, you got to watch this movie. It's the greatest thing. And I watch them like, this is just drag.
And you can't get that 2 hours back.
No.
I just want to
2 hours away from my kids I could have been spent with, or my wife, or sleeping, or something at the gym.
Barb, please email me and we'll work out when we can do the stream because I really want to do it. Thank you. Totally want to do it.
Question here for you, Lou.
Yep.
From Norin. Lou, can you
Oh.
clarify what you mean about Max versus the other one? I think I have all the complete collections. Talking about
So-
Punisher, I believe.
So okay, so if you're talking about Punisher Max, what happened was in the 2000s when Marvel was coming out of bankruptcy, they started a line called Marvel Knights, which the comics were a little bit more mature, a little bit more edgy. They hired basically their best writers to create stories with some of their more rough around the edge characters. And one of them was the Punisher, and Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon were the team for that Marvel Knights run. So what ends up happening is a lot of people read the Marvel Knights run and think, "Oh man, this really doesn't connect with me. It's kind of goofy. You know, you got Punisher throwing people into polar bear cages and stuff, and you've got that.
You got the Russian with boobs wearing a Britney shirt.
And what ends up happening is, well, I'm not going to read the rest of this. It doesn't really vibe with me. So what ended up happening after is Ennis came back to the character and he started writing Punisher Max. The Max line is its own continuity. It's separate from the main Marvel Universe stuff. And it allows the writers to tell what is the equivalent of rated R comic book stories with Marvel characters. Arguably the best one is Punisher Max, written by Garth Ennis. And
I don't think there's any argument at all.
Yeah.
it's the best one. It's the best one. And Garth Ennis came back and he basically is like, okay, I'm going to tell the best fucking Punisher story that has probably ever been written over, I think it's like 10 volumes. The only one to me that has come even close to what Garth Ennis has done in that run was Jason Aaron, where he comes in and he pretty much continues where Garth Ennis left off. And I think he came in probably like 3 or 4 years after the book was done. And he concludes that story.
But that's the thing. Same thing with Jason Aaron's run. There's 2 different Punisher runs.
Yes.
Because there's that Punisher Max one that we're talking about.
Great.
Where it's literally Frank's last story. Right?
Bullseye.
Yeah, that whole Bullseye, that
terrifying.
Kingpin, like that whole entire thing was ridiculously awesome. I didn't read his other Punisher story. Like there's another like Punisher Max series that he did. I never read any of that. But the one where it's Steve Dillon, it's Dave Johnson doing the covers, it's the Kingpin story, it's the Bullseye story, which is completely wacky and out of control and just sickening.
Yeah, Bullseye's fucked up.
Oh my God.
That Bullseye story is incredibly dark, but really well done.
Where he gets his own family, like he
Yeah,
has a family and like lives with them.
Trying to get into Frank Castle's head.
Yeah, like he's sleeping in all of his safe houses and stuff like that. Yeah.
He's sitting at the breakfast table with them and everything. It's oh my God, dude.
Yeah. And the Punisher Max series that Ennis did dealt with some seriously effed up real life situations, you know, like human sex trafficking and stuff. And it was really brutal.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it. Just even 2 weeks ago. The general premise is that Ennis is smart enough to go, Punisher's really not that deep of a character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you characters that are around him that you really want to root for and you hope they get revenge. And I'm going to make sure that the Punisher goes after the absolute fucking worst of humanity, and you easily want to root for the Punisher to just pretty much go in and blow everybody away.
Lou, you play that Punisher video game, right? The one where where you execute people and it goes black and white because you're doing these crazy executions and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that on the Xbox.
Yeah, that was on the original Xbox and PS3. I want to say. I want to get that game and play it again because I remember having such a good time. Because there's all just executions, like put people's faces in buzzsaws and drowning them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never got to play that.
Oh, it was great.
Pretty fun.
I remember it being fantastic.
Oh, wow.
It's exactly just like Garth Ennis Punisher Max. Like he's just shotgunning people in the mouth and stuff. It's great. Yeah, there's a part where you put it in the guy's mouth and you're like leading them around and stuff if you wanted to. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what was the what I think I had a statue of this. Yeah, what was the
It was a toy where he has the guy with the grenade in his mouth in the pinball machine.
Strapped to the pinball machine.
Yeah, that's a toy. Yeah.
Okay, I have that. Was that from Punisher Max?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought so.
I'm pretty sure because it has that Steve Dillon.
Yeah.
Steve Dillon / Tim Bradstreet style like art to it, you know. God, I'm gonna go back and get some of these Punisher books. I hope they do these in like again. I want they need to reprint this stuff because Punisher's coming back. Like we got Bernthal coming back and everything like that. Maybe modern epics, maybe more complete collections. But I think Omar said that they're phasing out complete collections and doing like the modern epics. But either way, that stuff needs to be fairly evergreen, I think.
Yeah, I think Jason Aaron's Punisher Max has been out of print way too long.
Yeah. It's such a good. People are just missing out. Like, you know, we keep talking about it because we read it, we love it, but you know, I mean, you can go read it digitally or do whatever. You can find it any other way you want to, but if you want to have a physical owned copy, it's like a $200 book or something. I think.
I'm kind of wondering if there may be a little gun shy of putting out his books lately, especially with how everything is going on and the US and stuff like that. Maybe they're like, well, maybe we should kind of hold back on that for right now. Which is a shame. It's a damn shame because there's a lot of good material there. Greg Rucka's run on Punisher is great.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
And that's out of print too, isn't it? I only read a little bit of it. It was him. It was like a female Punisher that he was like kind of like
three thick trades. Yeah. Let's see. Volition made Punisher before they went on to Saints Row. It's going for about $30 on PS2. Marvel needs to get out more Punisher classic stuff from the 80s. The epics are nice, but the problem is when Punisher War Journal, Punisher Warzone cross over. They should release Omnis with all 3 titles together.
I forget which one it was, but the one that has John Romita Jr. on the art, and he just makes Punisher like this thick monster of a guy is awesome. It's weird because originally John Romita Jr. was doing Daredevil and he was drawing Punisher. He just looked like a weak looking character. Then he comes back and does like Warzone or whatever it is, and he's just this thick, massive dude, just super scary Punisher.
Let's actually have a few more books. I won't spend too much time on this one because I think we all reviewed it. Well, everything happened in 2019 for me. I'll say, maybe 2018 is when we all reviewed Identity Crisis from DC. And
the book that killed Tom King's hot streak.
Oh no, Identity Crisis. That's Brett Messer.
That was Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, my mistake. Like, there's so many fucking of them at this point.
Well, yeah, you know what? Heroes in Crisis did kind of break me too, but it was Identity Crisis where I forget now, but Adam's wife is the criminal, and this third-rate villain is a rapist.
Dr. Light.
Yeah,
I just wanted to look at the stars.
Yeah, and he I think he rapes, who is it, Sue Dibney, the Elongated Man's wife or something. And none of the characters in the Justice League are I get it when you get a new writer that wants to start a new series, and every Batman series or book takes on the identity of the writer. But the writer, Brad Meltzer, had no idea, and I know he's capable because he wrote some good Justice Society books, but none of those characters acted as they did before.
The whole mind wiping and stuff like that too.
Yeah, and they were so out of character. It didn't seem real or relatable or even possible. I know we're reading comic books and stuff, but we like a certain consistency with our character. It would be like if Superman all of a sudden turned into the Plutonian or something. None of those characters in Identity Crisis was written well at all, and they didn't act like they themselves. And God bless Rags Morales, but that art was really rough in that book. And they made an absolute out of it. Edgelords. That's a good word. So I had an absolute of it because I was like, oh, absolute, Brad Meltzer, Identity Crisis, whatever. And when we did that read through, we just tore that book apart. We all hated it. and I got rid of it.
I like it. I still have the
Okay, well, that's fine.
It's okay.
Maybe you weren't on the episode.
No, I was there. I remember that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was just, that hurt me personally. I took that book personally. I
still just love the fight with all of them against Deathstroke, and Deathstroke just shoots.
Nope. Yeah, you can
Kid Flash. One of them, like one of the speedsters, right in the kneecap.
Whoa, Rags Morales was pushing for a movie of it. Oh my gosh, it shouldn't even be animated. It's awful.
Yeah, that's a great animation. Hey, let's go see this animated movie. Oh, look how nice. This nice housewife's gonna go to the space shuttle and look at the stars. How nice. Oh wait. Oh, this is turning into Watchmen.
Yeah, and I'm not going to include all the books I root beered. I only have 2 more, but
Astonishing Wolfman.
Yeah, I don't want to bring those books up. Because I just, I felt like those were just bad, disappointing books. But the next couple ones I have, I definitely did root beer, but I've already talked about Identity Crisis, so I'll let you guys talk. I'm sucking up all the oxygen.
Brightest Day. Brightest Day
That's a good one.
had ruined me from Green Lantern. I still haven't read a Green Lantern series since that. It was Brightest Day because I was, I still do. I love Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. Like that entire run all the way up through Blackest Night is just an achievement. Fantastic. It should be on everybody's shelf. Like everybody should experience that entire 60 issue run or whatever it is. Then Brightest Day happened, and the Green Lantern movie happened, and just the combination of those disasters, I was just like, I'm done with Green Lantern. There was something about it that just completely tainted Green Lantern for me after that, and I haven't read Green Lantern since.
Taint.
Yes, taint. But that. I mean, if you want to talk about a saltpeter, just Benadryl of a storyline, it's Brightest Day. It was a weekly series, and they had it set up where it felt like it was every 6 issues, every 6 weeks, there's when something finally happened. But for 6 weeks, every 6 weeks, you're just like, oh God, here's Dead Man just eating a hamburger because it makes him happy. You got to go eat a hamburger, and it was all this whole thing for nothing came out of that whole thing, and it was all about who's going to be the White Lantern. It's the big special spectrum that's going to protect everything, and Swamp Thing grew wings, and that was really it.
Wait, was Dead Man the one who ended up being the White Lantern?
He started out at first, and then he gave it up.
Okay.
He was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. It was like, oh, I'm watching Swamp Thing do his laundry for the next few issues. Oh, he mixed his colors with his whites. Oh, damn. Poor guy.
Oh, he left them in the dryer for too long. Now they're wrinkled again.
Yeah, that was.
I haven't read Green Lantern since. I didn't read New 52 Green Lantern. I didn't read Grant Morrison stuff. Far Sector, Jessica Cruz.
Oh gosh, Jessica Cruz is really good.
Who the homeboy for some reason, the Green Lantern has pistols for whatever reason. I haven't read any of that stuff because I just couldn't. I just really got hit hard because of that crappy movie and because of Brightest Day. I was in on Blackest Night. I was buying all the toys. I was at San Diego Comic-Con. Because every day at San Diego Comic-Con, okay, one day is green, one day is blue, one day is red, one day is yellow, one day is, whatever. And you could get 2. So I was getting them, and I missed a couple. So I was trying to trade them with people. There was a whole trade thing going on. I was really deep into it. Loved Simon Baz. Thank you. And it was just something about just that sandpaper hand job that was Brightest Day.
What were you getting that were different colors?
So at San Diego Comic-Con, when Blackest Night was happening, every day it would be a different colored Green Lantern. So it'd be Hal Jordan green, Hal Jordan, and one day it'd be Hal Jordan green, next day it'd be Hal Jordan blue,
Action
with
figures.
red action figures. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they were awesome. And you were allowed to get 2 at a time. And you had to like, it was a ticket system is what it was. You had to like reach your hand into like this sack and you had to pull out like a colored ticket to be able to get it. Right. So it was a whole ordeal. Like we stood in line and we would get it or we wouldn't get it. So I would get like, I had like 2 reds, but I needed like a yellow. So like my friends and I, a lot of people at the con made signs that was like, we'll trade red for blue or we'll trade green for a yellow. Like it was a whole barter system thing going on. Those figures were great. I had them for a long time. I had all of them. I was deep into it. I loved everything to do. Like I had like my own like colored core like shirts. Like I had like a Red Lantern shirt and stuff like that.
Ooh, cool.
And then it's just Brightest Day. It was just that second go around was just the worst. That second bite of the apple just didn't happen.
I wonder if I would love a red T-shirt with the Red Lantern symbol in front of it on it.
They're out there still, I think.
Oh man, I'd love that.
They were everywhere. Like, it was ubiquitous. Like everybody, you weren't even like comic book fans would have like these shirts and stuff when they were coming out.
Lou, you have another one?
For me, the next one that I would have, and to be clear,
what's like this?
Superhero stuff.
Man, they made so much money off of this stuff.
Is this eBay?
No, this is a superherostuff.com.
There's a website called that?
Yeah. You haven't heard about this website yet? It's all t-shirts.
No.
It's all t-shirts and apparel and stuff.
Oh, you see what you just started. And Patty's gone for 2 weeks. So there will be packages that will be delivered.
I'm getting the whole spectrum now. Woo! Yeah. Look at those. That's exactly
I'll put it in our chat.
Superherostuff.com. Here I come. Oh, that's so awesome. I want every color.
So yeah, for my next one, I want to be clear. I don't hate this story. It's just another one of those where I just didn't connect with it, and that would be 100 Bullets.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
What happened?
Something happened
What?
and he took himself off.
I kicked him out because you don't talk shit about 100 Bullets around me.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I tried, man. I got pretty far into it. I think I got like 20-ish issues.
Oh, that's not far enough, dude. That's back when they were still just doing peddly nonsense.
I know.
That's before you get into like the double cross of the double cross of the double cross of the families.
I really tried to get into it really hard. I love Eduardo Rizzo's art. Brian Azzarello has always been a writer that's been more hit than miss with me. And when he hits with me, he hits really great, especially his Wonder Woman run. Absolutely love his Wonder Woman run. I just couldn't get into it. The dialogue just didn't connect with me because he was trying to do kind of this street slang, and it wasn't working for me. I will say, I think it has one of the most brilliant one-shot issues that I think I've ever read, and it is an issue involving
27.
Yes,
27.
Yeah, with a big reveal at the end with a popular person.
Yeah, it's the whole thing about the JFK assassination and Marilyn Monroe.
Brilliant issue. I don't know where Azzarello pulled that out of his ass, but that was a brilliant issue. I really can't. I have to say it's one of the best single issues.
Have I showed you my Eduardo Rizzo sketch?
I love Eduardo Rizzo's art. Guy's fantastic. But for whatever reason, 100 Bullets just did not connect with me, man. I tried and I was just like, it's not doing it for me. And this was at my height of reading, where I was trying to devour as many comics as I could. And
if you ever want to do it again, like let me know. Like I'll tag along with you because
I'd do that too.
Yeah, I love that series.
I'd like to read it again. It's been so long.
I love the series so much, but I haven't read the Brother Lono series yet.
That's in the Omni, but not in the hardcovers, right?
It's not in the hardcovers because it was like after the hardcovers.
Yeah, so I still need to pick that up.
It's like a trade or something of it out there.
Yeah. Well, this
I
one-
love to do because like
Oh.
there's like the whole stuff. It's hard to explain, but there's stuff that happens in the background of a panel, and you'll see it come to fruition like 3 issues down and stuff like of them like robbing people and stuff like that. These like it's all like in Miami and stuff. So it's all these like street hustler kids like trying to hustle over on people and stuff like that. Oh, what about you don't know if you got that far. Gabriel the Hornblower, I think his name was.
Oh, dude, I haven't read that series.
Oh no! If you don't know about Gabriel the Hornblower, like the horn player kid, then yeah,
No.
you don't know tragedy yet.
I'm 33 now. I probably read that when I was like 20, so it's been a long time.
Oh well, come on. So if you want to do it again, anybody like when it comes down to it, like I'm in.
Yeah.
I have the hardcovers.
Let's do it this summer.
I'm
I'd
in.
be down. Yeah, I'd be down.
I would love to read that whole thing again. And I'll get Brother Lano because I don't have it.
Like I got that sketch from Eduardo Rizzo at San Diego Comic-Con. I was like, dude, just draw whoever you want. But I should have asked for like a Lono. Like in my head, I was like, I want a Lono. But he gave me, I forgot her name. I think her name's Megan. Super hot. Like God, the guy's amazing how he can draw like women. Yeah, I love that series, dude.
Yeah, I just checked eBay. It's really cheap.
Yeah, I'm going to look on Amazon or maybe it's on IST. I don't know.
Same. Oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. Our sponsor.
Always write a check first. If it's not there, then it's,
Well,
look elsewhere.
speaking of selling out, Gun Honey sold out really fast from IST. So I had to hustle on over to the giant bookstore site to get my preferred cover.
No, it's not on there. Shucks.
On IST, brother.
Not on
That's
IST.
an old book.
It is. But
Like
sometimes
5
those things
years
are on
old,
there.
isn't it?
Sometimes you'll see random stuff in there that's been sitting forever.
Yeah. Like I'm hoping they drop the price of the Dazzler Marvel Masterwork that's on my wish list now. I want it to go down to $20. Stimson knows Gun Honey is awesome. I bought both books. I only have the Adam Hughes cover for my collection, but I heard that it's great. Gun Honey is good. Something like Brubaker would write. I have never, ever gotten anything but a perfect book from the A site.
I've gotten it a few times where I've had, issues. And I, send it back and get it back, but no big deal. It's always funny because I never get packaging when I order books.
Oh no.
But if I order like my protein, which is like a giant 5-gallon jug of protein, they'll throw a ton of like air bubbles in it. What's going on here? I don't worry about my giant jug of protein getting damaged. I don't want my Epic collection coming in all bent.
I think I must live near a hub or something because I don't think my books travel around enough to get banged up. Because you're right. It's like a paperback in a box with a bubble wrap thing or nothing.
I get it. I can just because I do live near a hub. I get it in just like a bubble mailer, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I live near Hub too. It's the best because I get most of my stuff same day delivery. For
I used to do groceries like during the pandemic. My wife was always ordering groceries from there.
Oh,
Same.
from the Big A.
Yeah,
same.
I wonder if they have that street drug that I want. I need you to go on the dark web, Gabe, and find somebody that will deliver it to me.
So before we chime out of here, I think we can all agree on this next one. This is probably a universal one as well. Batman Damned.
Yeah. I mean, we know the reason behind it. Like Brian
do.
Azzarello has mentioned it. Like I've had him at signings. Justice talked to him in person before.
We do not blame
But the end product is the end product, right? Like it is what it is.
You
can't go to school and be like, oh, sorry, I was busy all weekend. I didn't finish my school project, and it's all shitty, right? You still get graded on it, right? So
I don't hold that against Azzarello, honestly, based on everything that we found out, and I don't even count that in his. I mean, his name's on it, but I don't count it against him.
That was the first Black Label book.
That was the first Black Label.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That was the first Black Label book. The big ordeal with it was the whole Bruce Wayne's penis.
Yeah.
And it came out the day that AT&T took over DC.
Oh, that's right.
It was the day. So I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make all this money selling, underwear to kids and costumes and lunch boxes, and his dick is right here in this comic.
Yeah, my man was packing a golf club.
He's Bruce Wayne, man.
Bruce Wayne.
There's dude, they got too deep. Like, there's people that was like, okay, judging by the size of Bruce Wayne's head, like it's this. So his penis is really like this big, and it was like this. Like they really got into like the measurements of it and all that stuff. It even like I don't know if is it on the CGC label of it being like a bat wing thing. I don't remember if it was or not, but
no,
that was a big book when it came out too. I remember when that thing came out, and that situation came out with it. It was like a $60 book the next day, $100 book.
So the thing with that book is, I did a review of it on my channel, and to this day, I still get fucking comments saying, "I don't think the book was that bad. I think you just didn't get it." I'm like,
yeah, you didn't get it exactly.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Like, oh, you call yourself a comic fan, you just didn't understand the book. Okay, all right, yeah, I didn't get it.
I still have it within arm's reach.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and that's where Harley like tries to sexually assault Batman, and it was just so weird.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, like Brian Azzarello's original idea was that she was supposed to be like full nude, and it was supposed to be like a whole real thing, and it was supposed to be like hardcore, and then it was like, then they had to kind of just milk toast it.
And then the demon, was it the demon that was a rapper?
Yeah. Etrigan.
Mo.
Like a club. Yeah. And all of a sudden it was like, why Swamp Thing here for no reason?
Yeah, it felt really chopped up. Like all these things got put together, but there felt like there was no string through it that connected them.
It's incomprehensible.
As
a story, it doesn't make any sense.
Like it's told, and then it's like told through like Constantine or whatever. Like it's like he's like narrating it or something at some point. I don't know. It switched gears a lot.
Right, and so the reason I feel it's incomprehensible, it's just random shit, and that's really the biggest problem that I have with it. Its storytelling structure works the best when it's so this happens because of this, and then because that happened, this happened. This is a perfect example of this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. It's just random moments, really, that don't add up to much or make much of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
I forgot they blacked it out in the hardcover.
Yeah. I know people occasionally ask us for the radio play of it that we were supposed to do.
Oh man. That was we just bit off more than we could chew for that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then COVID happened around that time too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2 years later.
We almost had it ready to go, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
That's the time we should have done it because we had nothing else to do.
My last book is I don't want to say I'm known for it, but people identify me with this series. I think it was the first book I root beered, and it was the most disappointing. The most disappointed I've ever read, most disappointing comic I ever read. And then when I root bearded, people were like, why'd you destroy the book? Why couldn't you have given it to the library or given it to a kid? And I'm like, I would never give this book to a library or a kid or a person to read because it's awful and terrible and makes me hate the character. And that was Batman Cacophony and Widening Gyre. What a bunch of junk from Kevin Smith. Talk about not knowing better. He had Batman completely out of character, joining up with Onomatopoeia in disguise, having fun with him in the Bat Cave, letting him come into the Bat Cave. I don't care that he urinated on himself to keep him safe from a fire, because I heard that's what firemen do. I had no problem with that.
Oh, the bladder spasm.
Yeah, but being besties and a smile on Batman's face and saying, "Oh, sure, yeah, you can come on into the Batcave," and then Onomatopoeia starts making that clicking noise, and Batman realizes he's made a terrible mistake.
No shit. Alfred made him sandwiches too.
Yeah.
That's weird because sometimes I remember Onomatopoeia first came out and Kevin Smith's like Green Arrow run, and it was awesome.
Yeah, he was scary, and
Mm-hmm.
which I liked, but wow, this was a horrible, poorly written, poorly thought out. I think it was a buddy project with his friend that runs the comic book store and does the podcast with him. I can't think of his name.
Walt Flanagan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a third one coming out, Jess. It's supposed to be a trilogy.
It's going to be called Omnidog Bales because I am not reading that 7 years later. I don't care what happens to any of those characters. It was just such a departure. It made me stop reading Batman for a long time, and I've read I read Kevin Smith's Green Arrow and I liked it, so I know he's capable.
He's a good writer. He can write.
Yeah. But holy guacamole, what a slog that book was. I was so angry and mad at it, and it broke me for Batman for a while. Oh,
That's pretty bad.
That's rough that like something like that can just something that's not even like continuity or like in like normal stories is like, oh, this makes me not want to read anything Batman ever again.
yeah,
It happens. Yeah, you know. Jeez.
he was my favorite. You know,
The Green Lantern movie made me not want to read Green Lantern anymore. So yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that. Jeez.
Yeah, and now I've got nothing. I'm surrounded all by Batman books now, so it didn't last long, but it definitely put me off him. All Stars, Batman and Robin. Yeah, that's a book.
Shadowland from Daredevil.
Shadowland was
Oh yeah, Kevin Smith's Daredevil run was fantastic. Everybody's writing in the chat. That was a good time.
That's the Marvel Knights book that looks like Daredevil's fishing with Spider-Man on the cover.
Yeah, the Guardian Devil. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're fishing from the rooftops to me. Are we about done? Should I give the IST plug?
Goodbye. See that plug.
InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions from 38 to 65% off, depending on the book and the sale. Don't forget your 2% loyalty discount. At the end of every month, we give away a free $50 gift card to a lucky viewer, courtesy of InStockTrades.com. Books, a book order worth $50 or more in the United States gets you free shipping. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Yow.
Yow.
Right. Don't pay full cover price for your books, people.
Yeah, the books that broke us.
It was a fun episode.
It brought back a lot of bad memories, but it was fun.
Sometimes you got to relive the trauma to get over it.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show me on this doll where Kevin Smith hurt you.
Oh my god.
This doll doesn't have the parts that hurt.
Oh, I feel cleansed.
Everybody's talking about All-Star Batman.
I feel a weight lifted off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
You know?
This is our confessional here.
Yeah.
Paz y amor para todos. Great fun episode as always. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Normally we're very positive, but yeah, it sounds like we needed to get this out of our systems.
Well, we talked about it before that, you know, people get together more when they talk about things they don't like. Didn't you talk about like to your shrink once before, Jess, or something like that? So yeah.
You want me to sign off with Salty Omnidog? Okay. Gabe, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me talking about how much Sentry sucks and how I was blue-balled and catfished my entire life because of Sentry. On Instagram, Gabe Loves 90s Comics. And stay tuned. I might be having another YouTube channel coming up. I got an idea.
That's
Nice.
right. It's a good idea.
You can find me at Comics Guide 101 on Twitter and Comics Guide 101 on YouTube, where there's an archive of old videos and a whole bunch of other stuff.
And you can find me, OmniDog, on OmniDog's Vault on YouTube and OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. Peace and love, peace and love. Buy your books from In Stock Trades. The chat was great tonight. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. And to those books that we talked about, that's right.
And if you're watching this on the rewind, in the chat or in the comments, what books broke you? You had a lot of great ones mentioned in the chat during the show. So,
Thank you for watching. Peace and love, peace and love. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Good night, everyone.